I'd now like to call on stage somebody very, very important to this event, really the mind behind it in many ways, visionary perhaps behind this conference, who's coordinating the effort of commercialization in the Directorate of Human Spaceflight and Robotic Exploration. Most of you will know him already, and if you don't, please welcome to the stage Bernhard Hufenbach, lead of the Commercialization and Innovation Team.
Where shall I sit?
Bernhard, you have a choice of chairs. Where would you like to sit?
I sit over here.
There we go. You sit there and I sit here. Wonderful. Well, it's been a very exciting conference so far, I think, and congratulations to you and your team and all of the organizers. These things don't happen in a day.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for bringing it about. And of course, the whole objective is to talk about ESA's perspective in commercialization. So let's start with something we spoke about yesterday, which was the LEO economy. What is ESA's standpoint on that?
So firstly, low Earth orbit is one of the destinations of the ESA exploration program, which includes low Earth orbit, Moon and Mars. Low Earth orbit remains very important for us. We currently center our low Earth orbit activity around the International Space Station, but this has a finite lifetime, and probably by 2030 at the latest, we need to find a new solution. And our key interest in ESA is continuity and no gap. We share that completely with our friends on the American side. So we want to continue European astronaut flights to low Earth orbit to prepare them for deep space mission in the future, long-term Mars. But we also want to prepare our technology to science and operation preparation for these missions. So we need to find a solution for how we can do it. We see on the US side the emergence of commercial space stations. NASA has a huge budget. They can afford that probably by feeding these stations with being a key customer. On the European side, our demand is significant but much visible and much less and probably not sufficient to sustain a European station. We have no plans to develop a station. So we're really looking forward to grow an economy where we can bundle interest and needs in order to benefit from services which allow us to meet in future the ESA interest as a key customer.
Mm-hmm. And we spoke so much about commercialization as well and opening it up, as you've just mentioned. So what do you view as ESA's main role in this, holding the hand of the people in front of us, perhaps, who have these ideas bubbling in their heads?
Well, firstly, like NASA, we will be a customer, a secure customer. Currently, we invest like 60 million per year in research. We invest 200-300 million a year by operating a space station. So even beyond ISS, we will have a significant budget each year to procure services, as I said earlier. Now, whether it's 200 million to 50 million, it's difficult to predict the future, in particular with the current inflation rates, but we will be a key customer. Now, I think, as I said earlier, maybe that's not sufficient, because we have to help to grow the European service provider community, because we don't want to spend our money. Also, NASA is a good friend of us. We don't want to spend our money with the US industry. That's the barrier we have on our side. So what can we do? We can act as a partner. That's why we talk a lot about partnerships. We can act as a partner to grow these services, provide our expertise, technical, scientific, programmatically. We can maybe even co-fund some of the early service development. We can also become a partner to stimulate demand for the services, and we just have this fantastic panel. We had 4 very energetic persons who help us to create the demand. And we can also help to share our experience, how we partner with NASA and how we can maybe create transatlantic partnership also in the industrial sector. So this is really what we're trying to do. We're trying to help nurturing the creation of this market, and time is short. 2030 is very soon.
It is indeed. It's not long at all, and time goes very quickly. Now, thinking about risk, we've had a lot of talk over the last day and a bit about Europe's attitude to risk. What's ESA's attitude to risk and failures?
Space without risk doesn't exist. Like Elon Musk, also ESA can blow up rockets, and we've done it in the past. But it's not really our core business, blowing up rockets. So I think we need to find a way how we manage risks. So in the past, ESA has procured hardware and was a key customer, and what we done, we have fully controlled all the risks. And if we failed, this was also our fault because we were kind of responsible for the risk. What we see now is a different situation. The industry has matured significantly, as we heard also yesterday in the panel. So we get entering in a form where we sometimes are more partners than only the procurement agency, and we need to share risks. So what ESA needs to learn is to give up control. And as for everybody knows, you want always to control your destiny, but we need to learn to let loose and give up control, and we need to share risks. Essentially what we do in sharing risk is that we give all the commercial risk to industry, the private sector. They know better how to do it. We need to find an appropriate way to share technical risks, and we also, of course, keep on sharing our commitment, our programmatic risks. So in other words, I think we are trying to open up to risks, but to be very honest, ESA has not a culture of, we all know the biggest lessons we learn in life is from our mistake. As bigger the mistake, as more we learn. But ESA doesn't really have a culture of learning from errors. And with ESA, not just our teams, our staff, our contractors, our relation with member states, politics, our relation with the public perception is not ESA being a risk-taking agency. So if we want to open up for more risk adventure, we need to share the culture, but we also need to define an area where it is safe to fail. Yesterday we've seen these beautiful pictures of the new telescope, James Webb telescope. It was a 10 billion investment. We better don't fail on this one. We have human missions very often, frequently, we cannot fail on those missions, but we have many areas where we could fail without it being a drama. And I think this is where we need to think about how can we create an environment where also for ESA and ESA industry, it can be safe to fail without losing on sight the long-term vision.
So as I understand it, the idea of having partnerships is to kind of share the risk. Share the risks, share the successes. What does success mean to you then? For you, you mentioned 2030. What would success in 2030 be?
So in 2030, most likely, we will safely deorbit the space station, plus minus. Success means that we have put in place an economy where ESA can continue doing its research, sending astronauts every year to a commercial platform. Success means that our industry has found its way in an international value chain, providing services. Probably, as I said earlier, Europe cannot afford to have its own commercial station. Also, we heard yesterday there are 5 in future. Let's see how many we will have. But so success is our industry is an active player, and we can procure service from a European industry. But success also means for me that we managed to grow this non-ESA funded demand with the help of our accelerators, a case call, and everybody here in the room, the service provider. And I think a nice target for 2030 would be that the non-ESA funded demand is at the same level than the ESA funded demand. That would be for me a good target.
And then thinking about the history, you said the ESA mindset doesn't really enjoy failure. It doesn't have a failure mindset. And we also celebrated your 30 years recently. In that 30 years, have you seen that mindset shift at all?
Oh yeah, I think we see a change. We see a cultural change. If you look around, I'm one of the oldest now in the ESA environment. So essentially we get a lot of young people which have a very different mindset. The top management is really embracing the idea of commercialization. So I think that a lot is changing with regard to changing our relation with industry and being open to new ideas and innovation. So I think there's a change, as you also can see from the energy during this event.
And Bernhard, have you any final words of wisdom? 30 years it's wisdom you have, not age, it's wisdom, sagacity, to our audience, live here in the room and online. Any final words?
No, I think we have a really important period. The next 8 years are very critical to succeed in order to secure the future and what we do in low Earth orbit, which also, by the way, has a tremendous impact of what we can do beyond low Earth orbit. So I think in the next 8 years as a community, we need to work together and grow and accelerate. And I think these events are helpful to tell us whether we are on the right path or not. So we are reflecting of organizing this event because it's very nice, maybe in future once a year. And really, once a year we should sit together and ask ourselves, are we on the right path? Because if not, we need to correct soon and not only in 2030.
I think Marcus would agree with you. I can't see where Marcus is sitting. He's there right in the middle. When he said, you need to look at a person's eyes and then make it happen. And it's just as simple as that. It is simple. As he said, it's simple. Marcus, thank you so much for
being very much. Thank you.
The heart of this event. Thank you.
Thank you.